the heavy door of a much-needed shelter opens, without disturbance to the lively chattering inside the inn. A tall, caring woman enters, while sweeping the snow from her shoulders and removing the hood of her black cloak, just to reveal an even blacker long hair shaved on one side, messy, dirty, and part of it tinted red. Some would guess to be the blood splattered from the shield bash of the iron kite shield that she places calmly upon the weapon rack at the entrance of the inn. Each step she takes makes the wood under her thick boots squeak, and as the cloak opens, it exposes a body completely covered with black leather armour. Her armour was drenched in scratches, used parts, and dry blood that revealed it had served her in battle many times before. The innkeeper, as he notices her entrance, turns to her. Welcome to Luxon's Rest. As he notices the shield she put on the weapons rack, he inquires, "Are you just another adventurer heading for the lost riches of the dwarves?" Well, if it's information you seek about the state of Thiolden, then there are a few here who have barely returned alive from the wraiths and devilish creatures that inhabit that underground kingdom, he says as he searches between the crowd. The muscly woman finally leans over to the bar and smiles at the innkeeper. "No, my friendly innkeeper, we have not come to Sifrabel's End Pass to search for adventure, nor do we wish to cross to the land of the mages. No, we are in search for those who trade uncommon goods, the type of goods, you'd rather keep from the sight of your common guard. Do you host any smugglers?" And to this question, the innkeeper immediately displays a face reflecting his disturbance. And after a second attention, he speaks. "Well, I must admit, there are a few shady folk that sleep under my roof. Sifrabel's End Pass with its well-known dangers attracts those who wish to be, kept in the shadows and away from sight of the main road. But I never would have guessed that smugglers would take this route. I'm sorry I've not already asked, but what is your name?" And to this question, the enormous warrior ignores it, as with one eye she has detected that which reveals her prey. A scarification on the head of a man having a conversation at the end of the tavern, revealed by the trade of coin he just made with a mysterious human wearing a beautifully carved orange fox mask. The warrior tosses a big pouch of coin in front of the innkeeper without removing the sight of her prey, and he inquires, "What's this for?" as he starts building up fear within. And she says, "For the collateral damage to your inn." And before he's able to even muster enough courage to request clarification, the warrior whistles with her fingers so loud that the whole tavern comes to a complete and sudden halt. As everyone turns their head to find the source of the noise, the face of the man with the scarification turns dead white, and before anyone can reach for their hidden blades, a spinning and massive iron warhammer smashes through the window, landing on and destroying a wooden table, quickly followed by a female gnome with similar black leather armour. She lands to quickly hold her warhammer again and break into hundreds of pieces the ribcage of a man with a similar scarification that was just about to reach for his dagger. At the same time, 2 crossbow bolts land at the faces of his companions as an Athalan female graciously lands from the ceiling with a similar black cloak and 2 short crossbows already loaded in her palms. The man who finished the trade stands up, and as he looks to his business partner, he utters, "This was not part of the deal." The masked man responds, "Where are the goods?" As the former tries to escape, he whispers in anger, "The cult shall know about this." The large warrior picks up her heavy kite shield and throws it as if it was the throwing axe, of which the bladed edge of the shield lands on the door that the cursing man was quickly approaching, closing it as with his scalping opportunity. "Well, I've got no time for this," he screams while he stabs his dagger into the nearest unlucky traveller at the inn. Blood spills and a dark spell is cast, and the prey of the hunter quickly disappears into the black shadows. The warrior rages and screams, "Thalas, Arin, let us clean up and find them." And to this command, the she-elf and the gnome start brawling those who are revealed to be the escorts of the cultist. Arin, the pink-haired gnome, hits the cultist so hard with her warhammer that the projectile man crushes a chair and a shelf with now shattered wine bottles. Thelas, the elf of dark purple skin, keeps firing her crossbow while doing almost unnecessary acrobatics to dodge the slashes of the furious cultists. The now enraged warrior clears her way, fist fighting anyone that crosses her path, and she makes her way towards the table where the man with the fox mask sits. First, she dodges a dagger and hits the mouth of the stomach of her aggressor, leaving him on the ground in so much pain and gasping for air. Then, like a nimble wrestler and with the 3-fist combo, she knocks out her next attacker. Finally, a woman as tall, muscly and big as her stands before the warrior. This new challenger wears a panther mask that covers most of her face but her mouth, which displays a smirk that reflects the enthusiasm for what's to come. The warrior receives the first blow to her face, followed by a rapid spree of fists to the stomach, which she barely knocks back with her arms closed tight to her chest. One of the attacks of the masked woman misses by just a notch, and it leaves an opening, and the warrior reacts quickly and takes her opportunity. She grips her opponent's wrist with one hand, and with the other arm counterattacks with an elbow that hits right to the head. The mask cracks, and her opponent takes one step back as she is now dizzy and almost stunned. The warrior takes no chances and jumps in the air, giving the finishing blow that lands with all her weight. The wooden floor underneath, the mask, and her opponent's skull cracks on impact. Her final and worthy opponent lies on the ground, unconscious, bleeding, and with the mask split in two. The dust after the battle leaves the tavern with a sudden calm, as 3 apparent queens of brawling send the cultists back to their god's hands. Their leader finally approaches the table of the now calm man with the fox mask. "Where are they?" the warrior asks in a threatening tone. "You and your scummy companions interrupted before I could receive the package. But surely it must be nearby. You know that the conclave won't approve of this. You will regret denying our clients of their pleasures." The warrior immediately loses her patience, rages, and throws a table between them several meters away. Gripping with her thick fingers a neck hidden behind the mask, she yells to the smuggler, "They are not things. Tell your clients to find their pleasure in something else," and immediately hits him to the head so hard that he loses consciousness, a pair of teeth, and splits the mask and the chair where he sat. Thelas, the short-haired ranger, approaches her leader. "They must be around," she says with urgency. Arin turns to the innkeeper, and with an unfitting childish hop, she jumps up to the tavern bar to find a scared-to-death innkeeper. And she kindly inquires, "Friendly innkeeper, if you were a vile human trafficker, cultist of the god of death, keeper of souls, unproperly nourished, and fool enough to guide us to you, where would you hide a handful of young fair maidens to be traded like chickens to a butcher?" The innkeeper mumbles away, almost undistinguishably. They must be in the room outside the inn. It must be in the back of the stable." And with this, the gnome with the ponytail bows and thanks him. And to this, the other two start running without losing any instant. The stable doors open violently as the dust and moonlight reveal the shape of the 3 unsung heroines. 5 girls inside start crying their millionth tear of despair and unmatched fear. Some of these girls too young to live through the doom that was just prevented. The 6th and the eldest child, but still fairly young of them all, isn't crying. She stands overcoming her fears, inspired only by the love for her newly created friends. "Why are they doing this to us? Please take me, but let the young ones go back to their family. They've suffered so much already in the merciless lands of Thiolden." But she suddenly recognises that these 3 women in front of her are not her captors, and that their facial expressions are that of tenderness and compassion. "Who are you?" she asks as the tall leader of the warriors approaches her and kneels in front of her. "I'm Ray, and we are the Dead Queen, and you're now safe." And to this, the courage and fear abandons the young girl, and she breaks into tears that she'd held for so long, tossing herself into the arms of her saviour.